Good afternoon everyone and welcome to a new video on the channel. It is Tuesday the 19th of September 2023 and tonight we're off back to International Stadium. It is Gateshead versus Kidderminster Harriers in the National League. So I'm in Gateshead and going into this game this evening, Kidderminster are currently in 21st place in the National League table. Got to remember it is their first year back in this division after a few years away. They were promoted from the National League North via the playoffs at the end of last season, but funnily enough, despite their lowly position in the table, they are proving themselves pretty tough to beat so far. I mean, the problem is though they've only scored 4 goals all season. I think we've played what 9 games now or something like that. But on the flip side, they have only conceded 9, so that maybe shows that there is a pretty difficult defensive line to get past. So I think tonight we're maybe going to find it a little bit tough to break them down. But as long as we stay at it, then I've every reason to believe that we can go on and get the win. But I think despite the fact they haven't scored that many, I am expecting a pretty difficult test all round. But as for us, we are now in 8th place following Saturday's 1-1 draw away to Aldershot Town, and on the back. And we've just, of course, had back-to-back away games. Now we're going to back-to-back home games. We're, of course, Maidenhead visiting the International Stadium on Saturday, and it's the start of all-round pretty hectic schedule. Of course, this time next week we'll be down in Oxford because we're away to Oxford City. Then the week after, hosting Wealdstone. Then the week after that we have technically got the Durham Challenge Cup, but I highly doubt many first teamers will actually feature in that one. Then after that could be a replay in the FA Cup 4th qualifying rounds, and Tuesday after that is away to Rochdale. So a lot of midweek football coming up for us, but I think the good thing about our squad this year compared to last year is the fact that it is like we do have a lot more options to choose from. It's even if we do get a little bit hit by injuries, I don't think we're going to end up being as threadbare as what we were last season. But touch wood, that won't happen again. And quite frankly, it feels almost impossible to have that level of bad luck. But as I keep saying, we have just got to take it one game at a time, just to focus on the task in hand here tonight. I mean, it's I think if you look at the bookies, we probably are the favourites to win this game, which to be honest isn't a position I'm all that comfortable with, because we seem to perform a little bit better when the expectations aren't quite on us. But you know what, as long as we just go out there, do our thing, just as always, just give it everything we've got, then fingers crossed by the time I'm doing the full-time analysis I'll be pretty happy on the back of 3 points. Let's head on down to International Stadium and find out how it all unfolds. So the team's warming up, Kidderminster getting ready just here. It looks though they're going to be in their usual all red this evening. And Gateshead are getting ready just here, of course, going to be in our home kit for a home game. Anyway, I'll see you when the players are coming out of the tunnel ready to start the match. Gateshead! We're Gateshead!
You win this. Name the fucking note. It's the worst one to fucking part-time bastards. Fucking part-timers.
Go on, Marcus.
Gateshead! What, Steve? Go on! Yes. Yeah! Come on! Get in!
Lovely moves that. Right.
It's a mile off!
Patrol there.
One!
Oh! A bit hesitant there. Go on!
Yeah!
What a hit! Get in! What a goal that is!
Zuram Kidderminster. One size fits all.
Now you're on Nosworthy.
3-0 Louis Storey dive another 1-0.
Oh.
Right, that's it. Go on!
Shoot!
Come on, boys, penetrate the back lane.
It's going to be outside. Half-time, Gateshead 2, Kidderminster Harriers 0. This is going to sound incredibly petty, but considering how low the crowd is tonight, based on the fact that most people have just decided to stay at home and watch the Newcastle 0-0 on the telly, I'm kind of glad that we've put in a first half display like that, and long may it continue, just to show people what they're missing more than anything, because I've got to say, really controlling first half display. I mean, it's I'm a little bit confused, not going to lie, by the fact that Kidderminster don't really have any recognised striker on the pitch, or at least if they do, then they're extremely isolated, and they've not really offered a great deal, despite having a fair amount of possession. And I think their game plan almost went out the window early on. I think we sort of carved them open a little bit for our first goal. Marcus Denanga with a simple finish, but don't take anything away from what a brilliant goal that actually was, because the build-up play was just absolutely superb. I really must say, some of the best football that I've seen all season, really. The second one wasn't too bad either, was it? Greg Ollie latching onto it and just absolutely smashing it into the back of the net, and so far so good, and as I say, hopefully it continues like that, because it would be nice to get a second home win of the season, and so far you have to say we're definitely looking good for that. I mean, of course, there is another 45 minutes to go. Things can change at any given point, as we have unfortunately found out a couple of times so far this season, but the longer we sort of stay in control of this, the more and more likely is that we are actually going to go on and win this game. I think if we do get a third goal, and that should wrap it up. And fingers crossed we can get that. I mean, I don't think we're going to like relent or anything like that. So yeah, roll in the second half.
Come on, Jordan. Are you having a stroke, Jackie? Set us down a 10. What's going on?
Right mess.
Tim.
Shithouse.
4 minutes of added time at the end of this game.
4 minutes additional time. 4 minutes.
Going off Easter on site, does that mean the X10's on?
Yeah.
Full time, Gateshead 3, Kidderminster Harriers 0. I think that is as comfortable a win as we're probably going to have all season. I know I obviously didn't see the 6-0 against Eastleigh, but I did see, of course, the 4-1 against the Fleet, and even that game they actually did cause us some problems. But you've got to remember, Kidderminster, despite their position, of course, did have one of the best defensive records probably in the whole league going into tonight, but we soon managed to find a way through them, and we comfortably dismantled them. But I think for them, you could really tell where their issues lie going forward. They were barely really threatened us all night, and I think it was a very negative approach from them. I must say, I was actually a little bit surprised from them. I think in many respects they remind me of us from this time last year. Obviously Russell Penn, he's still quite a young manager. I mean, Christ, I can remember him being a player for us, and that doesn't really seem all that long ago. So I think it's going to take a little bit of time for them to adapt, but I do think they have the personnel within the squad to grind something out come the end of the season. But I think it's just going to be all out patience, and obviously we can tell Kidderminster fans that from experience. But I think what you can say is I think we made it look simple tonight, because I think it really was a very good performance, and I've got to say I actually was relatively confident going into it on the back of Saturday's display. I mean, obviously I didn't quite get the perfect result on Saturday. I mean, obviously it wasn't the worst of results either, but yeah, I think we all thought if we could replicate the performance tonight, then the result would probably come with it, and lo and behold it has, and we now move up to 5th in the National League table, which after I think 10 games I certainly would have taken. I mean, it's still very early days yet, still an awfully long way to go, and we still haven't played the majority of the league yet, but all the same we have had some very tough games in that time, and you have to say so far we are rising to the challenge. That is our 3rd clean sheet of the season, which again is another bonus. Don't think even the title winning team of the season before last had that many clean sheets after 10 games, so we're clearly doing something right at the back, despite maybe giving away a couple of goals maybe a little bit too easily in the early stages. But as Mike seems to love to say, it is maybe a little bit about process, and I've got to hold my hands up, because I had my doubts at the start of the season, and thankfully I'm being proven wrong. I mean, a lot of the time I do say that when it comes to Gateshead, if I'm not so sure about things and I say that, I am more than happy to be proven wrong, and that is just what they're doing. And now we move on to Saturday, another home game, this time of course against Maidenhead. It's going to be a good test. Again, like Kidderminster, not really a side that concede that many goals. I think I read something earlier on today that they have I think either the most clean sheets in the season or among the most clean sheets this season. So it's going to be a good test, but certainly a lot to be optimistic about after that tonight. But that is that for this video, and I'll be back on Friday night with an FA Vars tie, and it is El Clevico 2.0. It is, but this time it's Gisborough Town versus Redcar Town, not Redcar Athletic, but very much looking forward to it. Until then, take care, cheers for watching, see you later.